Do you believe in portals? Do you believe that these solar flares are having a direct effect on us? Are you feeling a little different? We had a few G-class hits here the last few days, and I have some things to share with you. I feel like there's an opening. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's an individual thing, but I'm going to ask you a few questions because I believe portals are opening, not just because of our solar flares, but a few other things that are going on. I'm going to share some experiences that I've had that are very interesting, and I'm going to talk about some things that I'm going to share with you moving forward that could be a little mind-blowing. Yeah, you're going to be very excited about this. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Anka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. Why do I always say that? When we came to this planet, everything's by choice. We decided to experience things that we don't get to experience when we are in our perfect state of being. So we get to choose being an individual. We get to choose individual mind and thinking and choices, all right? We get to come here and experience the low density of unconsciousness. And within that, we get the experience of fear, loss, sadness, anger. We get to experience the things that we don't get to feel in the pure state and try to imagine. You can't imagine it till you're in that situation, right? You can talk to somebody all day long about what it's like to experience something, but not until they're in that situation. That's why it's so easy for us to judge other people until you're in their shoes, or you're feeling the things that they are, and you think, well, it's so easy to do A, B, C, and then when it happens to you, maybe you start to understand, wow, it's not so easy to do those things that I thought were easy fixes. And so this is why we must be very careful with what we want for others. I want you to be happy and better and enlightened, but we didn't come here to do that. We came here to evolve into it. But we came here to experience the low frequency first so that we can know what it's like to evolve. And it's that journey, it's not the awakening that we're going to. It's the journey to awakening that's so amazing. So we want to break through the fear because it's part of the human experience. It's not going to go away. And even the Dalai Lama says, he experiences anger, but he doesn't allow it to control him. We're still human beings. I want you to remember, no matter who you hear out there, whatever's going on, everyone is still in density on some level. Even the most awakened beings do experience the density of the human experience. So anybody who speaks to you that comes from fear is speaking from a place of ego that's still caught up in the experiences of the material world. So that's neither good nor bad. Now, some of you get a little upset when we go into the political field, which, of course, I don't talk about politics. I talk about the situations we're going through. We're going to go through very big changes because nothing gets people more riled than, not voting for who they want because they believe that's the be-all, end-all of our future, and it's not. We are our future. So I said in my last video, which I hope those of you who were concerned about some of the statements I made will watch it again. My zero tolerance is not tolerating what's going on out there, and I made this very clear in the video, and I'll say it again here. It's zero tolerance of what I choose in my field, which means I am not stopping you from doing what you're doing. I'm not participating in it anymore. I hope that makes sense because in no sense of my imagination would I tell you or preach to you that you need to not tolerate somebody else. The zero tolerance is the zero tolerance of what I'm going to engage in, entangle in, because through my zero tolerance, I'm stepping away from that. Do what you will. And I am now engaged in higher frequency actions, giving, compassion, and love. That's the world I choose to live in, so I will not tolerate that in my space. right? Not again to make you change, because it's your journey to do some of these things. It's your journey to argue or tell me I'm wrong or whatever. And I'm fine with that. But just make sure you watch the whole video so you understand what it is I'm trying to convey to you. Everything is a choice, free will. Everyone is allowed to do what they want to do. Now, we're going to talk about portals opening up because something's been happening for and with me. And I want to ask you if it's happening to you. Before we begin, I hope that you'll subscribe. I'm going to show you some very cool stuff coming up. I'm going to explain what that is soon, and we're going to go into that space of the unknown that's a little bit mysterious, but never anything to fear. You are that very powerful space, and we are conditioned to fear it because as long as we fear it, we stay here in our low frequency and fear. And of course, others know that there's nothing to be afraid of, that we wield unbelievable power, and God forbid we did do that. We might change the world in a positive way. So we're going to step into that world, and we're going to start making those big changes. So I wanted to share with you that I went through, like a couple months ago, we had some X-class solar hits. I had an entire week, I didn't know that, by the way. I had an entire week of being in a very low frequency and just really, not anxiety or anything, but just really not being my peppy, positive self, just really sort of in a neutral zone. And I physically didn't feel that I was in high energy. And for a whole week, I thought something's going on, and I couldn't really put my foot on it. I wasn't sick, but I thought this is not like me, because I always choose the higher thoughts. So I didn't engage in negative thoughts, but I was having very strange, bizarre dreams too. So it was coming into my dreams as an energy field. Did you feel that? Well, I found out that we got hit major by a whole bunch of solar flares. It does affect us. It affects all kinds of things in your body. And I shared with you in a video a while ago, if you watch that, blood pressure, anxiety, arthritis. There was a whole host of things that were surprising. Even mental illness, it's having an effect in a more negative way, let's just say. And so it will test you, because we still have physical dense bodies that are going to react to all other energies. This is why you can walk into a room and feel very uneasy, and maybe there's somebody in the room who's in a negative frequency. You're picking up on that. That's a built-in gift. So that's not something to be avoided. It's telling you that something else is going on. So I pop out of it, and then I see, oh my gosh, we had all these northern lights going on down here. It's just crazy stuff with these solar flares. A year in advance of what NASA said was going to happen, which means we're going to 2025. We're going to really get hit with some stuff. So what I want to share with you is that we just had some major stuff going on, some very, very special alignments. Planets have been aligning, like, that's really unusual. That's happened in the last 12 months. The night before last, we had a partial solar eclipse and a harvest moon, and I can't remember, there was something else. 3 things that NASA said was very rare, all happening at once with our moon. It was beautiful. I went out and watched it. The next morning, I got up and went to work out, and my car wouldn't start, and the energy was completely drained. We put a new battery in, it happened again. So it got towed off, and I found today it's an alternator, no big deal. I'm so grateful. So we can look at everything differently. I can say, okay, well, it could have been like something major, but an alternator, we replace it. I'm going to be back in action this afternoon. So be grateful for these things that you say, okay, we get through them, and they're going to challenge us. But I thought, so did that solar flare have anything to do with my car? I don't know. There are no coincidences, but it doesn't mean that the solar flare is why the alternator went bad, because the car is getting older. However, I have had some dreams this week, and I want to ask you about this. Now, I had a premonition, and I shared with you guys. You guys get so upset with me sometimes. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. I'm not taking sides. I did see, it was Christmas time in my dream. There's a big Christmas tree, and it was definitely in the White House. I could tell it's the White House. People had suits on, and they were very somber because they were leaving. And so my premonition was whoever's in the White House is leaving. Well, it turns out right after that we had our current president here is leaving. Who else is going to come in the White House? Well, we'll find out. But so that came true, and so I want you to know something. You're going to start getting a lot of messages. I am, and I have my whole life, but they're picking up again. Now, a couple days ago, I had the most bizarre dream that I was in my place and that 3 people came in my front door with a dog. They had a huge dog. He was actually sweet, but he was scary looking. 2 men and 1 woman came into my home. It was very dark, and they were sneaking around, and I backed off because I didn't want to engage in them, but I was watching them, and they were basically tampering with my computer. And they left, and I looked around. There was nothing missing. Everything was there, so nothing was stolen. But I thought, oh my gosh, they got into my computer. And so what was going on there? Now, this is 48 hours later. I find a charge that's not supposed to be in my bank account. Now, nobody had my card. Somebody accessed it through my computer. Fortunately, once again, okay, oh, this is bad. No, it's not. Shut it down. Money was replaced. Card, all the numbers are all going to change now, so I'm protected. But here's the interesting part, is that was such a profound, interesting dream. Why would I have a dream like that? And I knew exactly who they were. I can tell you, what they look like. And the dog. They had a huge dog, 3 of them. I knew they went on the computer. I actually contacted my bank in the dream and said, I know somebody went into the computer, in my computer, so maybe they've stolen something that wasn't physical. I want you to start paying attention to this, all of your dreams. These are going to be hints and premonitions of a few things, of things to come, of how you feel about things, about your relationships. These things are being revealed, and I do believe that solar flares are opening up portals in another reason why we're opening up portals. When I say portals, we're accessing a much greater expansive quantum space. We're entangling with it. It's there. It's always been there. But we're now opening up the door. It's like, you're in the box, and I always say, I would like to be on a beach. I'd like to be on a beach, and you're in a box sitting on the beach. I said, well, just open the box. And that's how it works. So you're always in it. You always have access to it. But now we're opening the box. We're going into higher consciousness. We're dropping the limitations, and you're right and I'm wrong, or I'm wrong and you're right. All this other stuff of having to take a side or argue about it. Listen to somebody, take it, don't take it, it's up to you, but you don't have to go into conflict. That'll keep you in a low frequency. You don't want to go there, because when you're high frequency, you have access to the premonitions and the messages that you will get in your dreams. I'm a theta state kind of dreamer. I mean, I have such unbelievable dreams all night, and I remember them. I mean, it's constant, it's nonstop. I go into a world that's amazing when I go to sleep. And so pay attention to that, and I always pay attention. Now, it's going to be influenced very much by what you're watching and exposing yourself to. Everything's energy, it's all entangled, all of it. That's why I said, when you say no tolerance, don't tolerate this over here. Don't tolerate this like, oh, it's okay and I'll watch it, or it's not okay if that's not what you want to entangle with. It's okay for them. So then engage in something else, and don't allow that bad behavior or whatever into your space, or engage in it, or go in conflict, or try to say it's right or wrong. Go into your own space, because you want to keep your energy field as clean as possible, because you're always going to be exposed to negativity here, right? It's inevitable. You can't escape it. So what you want to do is you want to observe it, engage in the most positive space that you can, because what's going to happen is you're going to open up those portals to all kinds of information. And so you're going to be able to make decisions in your life. You're going to have more opportunities showing up, but only if you're on the high frequency. If you're in a low frequency and these portals open up, you're going to be accessing something completely different, and you don't want to do that. This is just quantum physics, right? Wave and particle. If everything is a wave, it's a probability. As soon as I look at it with the thought and the belief, it turns into a particle, becomes that which I observe and entangle with. It's not just happening, I'm making it happen. I am creating that situation, that event, whatever it is. All right? So when you create, you are the musician, the instrument, the songwriter, and the song. You are all these things. You are every part of it. And it's all engaged and it works together, right? So I said, be careful if you're in conflict with somebody. It's like cutting off your own finger. You will not function as a whole, perfect, healthy body. And that's what this planet is. It will not function as a whole if we're destroying anything on it or using things for our own benefit. This is why I tell you guys, clean up your house, literally, and of course spiritually. And that is, let's go into the space of total respect for everything else. I mean, we're in a world where, you see a hawk come down and grab something. I won't even go into detail because it needs dinner. And so we're in a world that we have to survive on some level, but we can do it as a community. And that's the most important thing. Portals are opening, and I see this next year big things happening, not just because of the elections, but how we're handling it, how we are going into all this. And I say ultimately, it really doesn't matter what happens, it's the response to what happens totally matters. So no matter what you're challenged with, it's always about my response. It could be a cataclysmic event, a hurricane, it could be any number of things, a death, or it could be anything. It's always going to be something. That's what we came here for. It's the classroom. Here's a new lesson. Here's a new class. You're going to get to move up because of the response. So just focus on this. What am I saying? What is my response right now? Am I trying to control somebody else? Am I trying to tell them what to do? Because I want them to be different, because I want them to be or think a certain thing or way? You got to be really on it, because that is an indication that your ego is 100% in control. Now, you're human. You're always going to have ego. Ego works in your favor if it's in control, because what happens is you can use it. It's a motivator. Fear's a motivator. When you keep it here and you are the person in control of it, not it controlling you, then you say, okay, ego is wanting to make the effort, wanting to do good things, wanting to excel at certain things. There's a portion of ego that motivates us. Otherwise, we'd be very depressed and probably never get out of bed, because the beautiful etheric high frequency of you would have a real tough time tolerating this craziness out here, right? So no matter what you do, what you see out there, have a little bit of fun with this. My friends and I, we were playing Scrabble. I'll never play Scrabble again. They're allowing words that I don't think are words, so I wasn't enjoying it that much. But we always have fun, and we're making jokes about it. And we started to talk about some potential conspiracies going on out there, and we were actually having fun with it. We were like making jokes and coming up with, and we were just sort of making fun of the world we live in that takes things so seriously. And none of us talked about voting or taking sides. In fact, we didn't discuss that at all. We were just talking about the events that are happening out there that have gotten to be quite humorous. And I think if you look at our world that way, you will find the humor in pretty much everything, because you're so unlimited. And so if you think there's a limitation, then you create limitations. Are you ready to let go of the limitations? Break through the fear. What's going to happen to you? Nothing. You're going to go to an amazing place, but do your best here. Do your best and allow those out there to play out whatever it is they're doing. They have their own cause and effect consequences, as will you and I. All right, and we can always improve. There's always a higher space to go to and go to and go to, and that is an endless journey, so enjoy it. All right, so portals opening, you're going to get messages, you're going to have opportunities, you're going to get all kinds of, let's just say, premonitions, hints of things that you got to take a look at. And by the way, nobody else can interpret your dreams. Only you can do that, because only you knew what you watched on media or what you ate or what your background is and where those dreams are coming from. So take a look at it and ask yourself, what does that really mean? Am I feeling something right now? I know I'm going through some patterns, dreams, patterns of, you know, being lost and then finding that pathway, or getting back to that space, or getting on that train that was gone, or getting lost in huge buildings with all kinds of people and then finding my way back. And I am finding my way back. So I'm feeling right now that there's just a lot of confusion, and you know, people are lost right now, and there is a space that you will find and get back to. You'll get back to your home. Relax and just know you will always be okay. You are not alone. But what I want you to understand, those of you who feel like there's somebody out there that's not helping you, they're always helping you. But you're not doing it first. You have to do it, and that's the whole point of the free will, is you have to make that choice first, and they will support your choice. They won't make a choice for you. And I think those of you who go into anxiety and depression are waiting for them to do something for you, but you're behaving this way. So that wave and particle, you're going into a particle over here, and they're waiting for you to come where you want to go, and you're still focused on this reality that you're creating with those thoughts. All right? Take advantage of this beautiful time. All right, so I would love to hear if you guys are having dreams, if you're having premonitions, if you're having anything, and pay attention to them. So, you know, next time I did check my accounts, and fortunately caught this. It was didn't go through yet, and I thought, wow, if you get these messages, follow up on them. Don't go get paranoid, but follow up on them. These can be warnings for you. You may be actually very connected to what's happening. I'm sure it was happening at the exact time that I was having that dream. That was taking place, and then this transaction came over on that date. So I thought, okay, I was tuning into, I was seeing something that was happening at that moment. All right, so pay attention, take action. If you get some warnings, take a look at that. Are there some things you need to change or maybe not do? Or if you feel like it's a warning for somebody else, we don't want to frighten people, but if you hear things like my thing about the White House, I just wanted to share that with you, because I know once it happens, you can say, I had that dream, and they go, yeah, sure you did. Well, I always tell you in advance, so you know it's on film, that I can't possibly be making that up. Pay attention. You're not going crazy. You're just accessing amazing information that's always there. You're just sort of getting out of the way, yeah, as we raise our frequency, okay? The madness is still continuing, but that's part of the journey. Just observe it, learn from it, and make your own decisions to change this planet in the way that you want to live it, not somebody else's, yours. You get to choose that reality, and it's a beautiful one. If you are an entrepreneur and you want to create a planet conscious business and you have no idea how to start, Digital Explorers takes anybody who really wants to change their lives. It's a beautiful personal journey you go on of finding out what you love, and then we create an actual business around it. We monetize your passion, your purpose. We find your purpose. And all of a sudden you realize, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And then we build an entire online business around it so that you can earn doing something amazing and good, and stop earning doing things you don't love that's unhealthy for the planet or yourself or both. So if you're interested, these are free videos, and I talk about why online businesses don't succeed. It's because we're doing business in a way that's never worked, right? It's always this thing. Stock market's not, it doesn't work. Let's live in a world that makes sense. because we can create it, but enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. That was another message I got a few days ago that I shared with you. Start to really enjoy this. Right? I thought I was, but I thought, yeah, I can enjoy it more. I can really understand I'm never going to be back here in this exact moment ever again, right? Welcome everything. Welcome it all. Welcome getting older. Welcome all the things that come along with being human, because once you leave here, everything's perfect. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. I hope you'll purchase my book, because it is a download, and I want to share it with all of you because I think it will absolutely be life-changing for you. It was a message that had to be heard, and I was told to get the book out now because you're ready for it. And it talks about exactly what's going on now, and it's going to take you into an expansive space and possibly give you immense peace. All right, I'll see you in the next video, my friend. You are loved. You are always guided. You are always protected. Ask and ye shall receive. Namaste.